Add ABAP to your skill set and take your productivity to the next level. I've been working with SAP software since 2001 and started out with ABAP as my main skill set. After many implementations, software upgrades and custom development projects under my belt, it is crystal clear that the best people to work alongside are those that have taken the effort to understand a little bit about the technical side of SAP. SAP consultants come in all shapes and sizes, from the extreme techie guys that can only communicate in binary code to those smooth-talking, gift-of-the-gab salesman-like functional consultants who run in fear at the thought of discussing anything technical. When a project gets on the way, functional consultants tend to drive the requirements gathering part of the project and pull in the ABAP guys at the last minute when a requirement has been flushed out of a workshop with the customer. As is often the case, the ABAP guy has to educate the functional consultant on how easy or difficult it will be to deliver what has been discussed, and at times just flat out tell the functional guy to pull back the reins on the requirement because of the complexity involved. In other scenarios, the customer may want what on the surface looks like a simple change to a program, and the functional consultant will often agree with a nod of the head, like a donkey, and write a quick functional specification for the development team to use to produce the necessary code changes. When the development guys get hold of the spec, they then end up spending time educating the functional consultant again, explaining why the development cannot be done or will take many times longer than the original effort that was estimated. So come on, dust off your learning receptors and start digging into the technical side of SAP, such as ABAP, backend BW, workflow, and possibly the data dictionary. Now that last statement has probably caused a few functional consultants to close this slideshow and do something like update their Twitter account with what they had for lunch. But for those still reading, let me highlight some of the benefits that learning some of the techie stuff will do for you, your colleagues, and ultimately your customers. So what do I suggest will help the SAP functional consultant improve his or her ability to estimate the ABAP work involved in custom developments? Well, let's have a look. First of all, learning a new skill can only be positive for your career. If you want to move into a new role within your company or move on to another organization, adding to your skill set is always a great thing to do. When your customers want something new or want to change an existing process, you will be able to give a much more informed response and be able to challenge them from a slightly different angle. The techie guys will be willing to discuss other possible solutions with you as they will see that you understand what they are saying. This will quite often result in a better solution that you can offer your customers. Don't let the techie guys pull the wool over your eyes. We all know that sometimes the work estimates given for some development work can be exaggerated somewhat. Don't let this happen at your expense. Challenge the estimates by making it known you know what you are talking about and have a good idea just how much work should be involved for certain types of development work. Quite often your customers invite their own techie guys to meetings. Being able to express possible solutions in a technical manner can help build their confidence in you and your company. By learning and having a good grasp on the underlying SAP technologies that are used throughout the SAP landscape, you'll be in a much better position to understand and get up to speed on new solutions SAP introduced further down the line. Is learning ABAP and the like so bad? As the saying goes, it is much easier said than done, and some effort on your part is needed. The work involved is often quite interesting, and you'll be amazed at the number of light bulbs that will go off inside your head as you start to understand how SAP actually works, the odd things that go on behind the surface, and how some solutions can be achieved just with a change of configuration or 5 lines of code. To get started, I would suggest getting a grounding in ABAP. Why? Because this is the #1 skill that will open the doors to the rest of the SAP technology world. It is used in BW, Workflow, and just about every single major piece of SAP software. Now, I will probably be frowned upon for saying this, but do not head off and start trying to understand ABAP objects. Instead, look at the older procedural coding methods first. They are much easier to understand to start off with, and this is what you will see being used behind the scenes for much of the ERP suite of applications today. Over time, this will change, I'm sure. But don't complicate things to start off with. You'll be able to pick up some of the older ABAP books over at Amazon. One book that I suggest is Discover ABAP. It's a nice easy book to read, simple examples inside, and you'll find that you'll start getting results within the first chapter of reading the book. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation.